Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video on my YouTube channel. So today I'll be predicting the 2021 Drivers' Championship. On my last video I predicted the 2021 Constructors' Championship, so if you missed that one, be sure to you check that one out before you see this one. So yeah, I'll be predicting the 2021 Drivers' Championship going from last to first place. I hope I'm right. Let's get started and start with last place P20. So in P20 I've put Nikita Mazepin. Nikita Mazepin is an okay driver, or you have to be a good driver to at least win races in Formula 2, which he did. But as I said in my last video, I expect Haas to struggle just because of the coronavirus and the situation. So P20 for Nikita Mazepin. And his teammate Mick Schumacher, who will be in P19, he's obviously the better driver of the two. Won the Formula 2 championship, but with the struggles that Haas will have, I'm putting Mick in P19. So in P18, I've put Nicholas Latifi. Obviously, I said yes, the Williams will improve for next year. It will definitely improve this year in 2021 and be closer with Alfa Romeo and the fights for the points. But yes, Nicholas Latifi is a good driver, but I just don't see him as a great driver, and that's why I've put him in P18. He will score some points, but just not as good as the drivers that will come now. So in P17, I've put Kimi Raikkonen. Obviously, I said yes, the Alfa Romeo will improve for next year. I think the Alfa Romeo will be the better cars of the two between the Williams and Alfa Romeo. But I just think Kimi Raikkonen lost some speed, or is losing some speed over the time, which is normal. He's getting older. He's 40 years old now. So yeah, that's why I've put him in P17. He'll still score some points, still help Alfa Romeo. But yeah, I rate Antonio Giovinazzi too, so he's going to beat him. So P17 for Kimi Raikkonen from my side. So in P16, I've put George Russell. And as I said, the Williams will definitely improve for next year. He will score some points, but he's still a bit inconsistent and makes these clumsy mistakes, which cost him a lot of points last year or a couple of years ago. But he will definitely beat Nicholas Latifi, score some points, push Alfa Romeo. But as I said, I think Alfa Romeo will make the better car compared to the Williams, and that's why I just see him in P16, but definitely ahead of Kimi Raikkonen and his teammate Nicholas Latifi. So in P15, I've put Antonio Giovinazzi. And I really rate Antonio Giovinazzi highly. I think he's a great young driver. He's definitely an underrated driver, gets too much hate from the people unnecessarily. He got second place in the GP2 series in 2016, just 1 point or a few points behind Pierre Gasly. So I think he'll lead this pack with Williams and Alfa Romeo, because I said Alfa Romeo will make the better car, and I just rate Giovinazzi so highly. That's why I put him in P14. So now comes the pack between P7 and P3 from the constructors, but in P14 I put Yuki Tsunoda. Obviously Yuki Tsunoda is a great driver. He got third place in the Formula 2 championship last year. Could have won without slight issues, but that's motorsport. But yeah, I think he'll struggle at the beginning in Formula 1. He will take some time to get used to it, but then get up to speed. And with the package I expect AlphaTauri to make, I just don't see him going further up than P14. It will be a slow start to him into Formula 1, but he's definitely a good driver, as he's shown on many occasions. And now for P13, and I'm so sorry, Fernando Alonso fans, but I've put Fernando Alonso into P13. As I said before in my last video, I just don't expect huge things from Fernando Alonso. I personally think he will be the flop of the season. I just don't see him coming back with and seeing the old Fernando. Obviously he will be better than when he was last in Formula 1. But with the package I expect Alpine to make, I just don't see him doing wonders and doing that well next year. So P13 for him. And now between P13 and P12, I predict a gap. And in P12, I've put Esteban Ocon. He's obviously a great driver, as he showed with his podium also at the Sakir Grand Prix last year. He's a great young talent, young guy. And I definitely think he will outperform Fernando Alonso badly this year. Obviously last year, we expected more for him, but he was up against Daniel Ricciardo, who was obviously in the form of his life, or is in the form of his life. But I think Esteban Ocon will step up next year massively. But yeah, as I said before, I just don't just don't expect Alpine to make such a good car. Also with the all changes, Cyril left. So yeah, with the car he will have sadly only P12 and P13 and P12 for the Alpine guys. So on P11 I've put Lance Stroll. This might surprise many of you either good or bad way, but as I said in my last video, I expect Aston Martin to make a really good car this year. They have the Mercedes engine. They speak very highly in the media about the chances this year. But yeah, Stroll is a great driver, as he showed on so many occasions at the beginning of last year especially. But he's still a bit too inconsistent. Obviously, yes, he's still very young. And maybe with Sebastian Vettel on his side, he will definitely improve for this year. This is what I think. Sebastian Vettel will help him massively. But there will still be, he will have very good races, but I think there will still be races where you think, that was not that good or a bit inconsistent. So that's why P11 for him, which is not bad, but sadly not yet top 10 for him. And now in P10, I've put Pierre Gasly. He was, in my opinion, one of the drivers of the season last year, or if not the driver of the season last year. He drove so well last year. The things he did with that AlphaTauri car, the win he had in Italy, I just don't see him slowing down. He grows confidence with every race. I think he will be once again one of the drivers of the year in 2021. Even though I said AlphaTauri might not make the greatest package, I definitely think he will get into the points regularly. Maybe not the high points finishes, but into the points regularly. And that's why I see him breaking into the top 10 and getting that P10 in the Drivers' Championship. And now for P9 and P8, I've put the two Ferrari boys. So in P9, Carlos Sainz, P8, Charles Leclerc. Obviously, Ferrari had a shocking year in 2020. But I definitely think they will improve for 2021. 2021 will be a great year compared to 2020. A great year in Scuderia Ferrari should actually be race wins and a championship. But seeing what we saw last year, I think they will have a great year in that sense, comparing it to 2020. As I said in my last video, I think they will have some battles on track and maybe some coming togethers, but they'll definitely sort that out. They'll be friends, definitely. I think they will get along really well, but I just don't think that Ferrari, they might snatch a podium on 2 or 3 occasions, but they're definitely not a regular podium finisher. As they were last year, they were also not a regular podium finisher, even though Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel got the podiums, but that's why P9 and P8 for the two Ferrari boys. And now in P7, this might surprise many of you, especially from the last video, but I just can't decide. As I said, sometimes I think McLaren will be the better of the two, sometimes I think Aston Martin will be. But for now, I've put Sebastian Vettel in P7. I definitely think that he will regain his confidence. He will drive exceptionally well next year at Aston Martin. You know, the comments that Otmar Szafnauer makes in the public, in the media, they really rate Sebastian Vettel, and they're so happy that Sebastian Vettel joined their team, and they will give him the confidence he needs to succeed. And yes, last year was not the best year for him, but yeah, with the reasons I just mentioned, I think he'll regain his confidence, get on the podium a few times, maybe even a race win. But I just, right now, I just think this might change in a few days, but right now, I just think that the McLarens will step it up once again. They have two great drivers. So yeah, Sebastian Vettel in a great, strong P7, really close to the McLaren boys. And now, as I just said, in P6 and P5, the two McLaren boys, and in P6, Lando Norris. Lando Norris is one of the best drivers on the grid and one of the best young drivers, or the best drivers in his generation. He had a great year last year. Yes, he had some bad luck as he had in 2019. But I definitely think with that McLaren and with that Mercedes engine in the back of that McLaren, he will absolutely fly. He will get on the podium. Not only once, more than once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. I don't know how many times. He might even snatch a race win. So I definitely have high hopes for Lando Norris. He's such a great guy, such a nice guy. He was a bit quiet over the winter. I think he took the time to reflect on the last 2 years he had in Formula 1, and he will definitely be there be one of the best drivers. He showed it to us on so many times last year, 2019 too. You know, he got the podium in Austria last year in the first race of 2020. He was great in the junior categories. So I definitely have high hopes for Lando Norris. He will absolutely smash it once again. And then in P4, obviously, P5, sorry, I've put Daniel Ricciardo. He is just in the form of his life, and coming in the form of his life to that McLaren team, he will have the Mercedes engine in the back of his car. The McLaren MCL 35M will be such a great car. I personally think he will make the life of the Red Bulls and even the Mercedes hard, I think, in my opinion. He also kept a bit quiet. He's very concentrated on the job he has to do with McLaren. And he's just in the form of his life, so I just think he will finish in P5 once again. Great P5 for him this year. And now in P4, as I said, I've put Sergio Perez. I definitely think he will succeed at Red Bull. He will definitely succeed at Red Bull. But as I said too, he will take some time getting into the Red Bull system, getting used to the Red Bull car. But he showed us his potential on so many times. You know, he's won a race last year. The way he treats his tire, he will definitely be great in the Red Bull. But we'll finish off the podium and finish in P4 of the drivers' standings. So in P3, I've put Valtteri Bottas. Yes, I said in my last video, people should not hate Valtteri Bottas the way they do. And I still think that. I will still believe that. But, you know, he gave us so many high hopes for 2020. He spoke so highly in the media. But he disappointed us so badly too. I thought he will have a great year in 2020. Didn't turn out great. Yes, he had some reliability issues. But yeah, I just see Hamilton and Max Verstappen making that next step. And I think that Red Bull will make a great car equally as good as a Mercedes. And that's why I just think Hamilton and Max Verstappen will be further ahead than Valtteri Bottas. I'm sorry, Valtteri. I'm really, really sorry. But P3 it is for you. And now for P2. Lewis Hamilton. Yes, I've put Lewis Hamilton in P2. There are a lot of reasons, or a few reasons for that. He still does not have a contract for this year. I think there might be things in the back of his mind, and he's won the 7th title. He is officially now the greatest driver in Formula One, and I just think that might release some pressure or something. I don't know. I just think with the car that Red Bull will make, I just think that, because I personally think Max Verstappen is the best driver in Formula One currently. So much potential still there. That's why I just think that Max Verstappen will beat Lewis Hamilton and be world champion in 2021. So yeah, as I said, world champion 2021, Max Verstappen. He is such a great driver. He's only, I'm actually not too sure, 23, 22, but he's won 10 races. He's getting more mature every single season. He beat Lewis Hamilton in Abu Dhabi. He beat the Mercedes. We can see when Red Bull is on the same pace with the Mercedes what he was able to do. His racing record is so great. And with the momentum Red Bull have, with the momentum he has from the last race in 2020, I just think that he will step up, Red Bull will step up, and he will finally get the World Championship he so thoroughly deserves. So yeah, that were my predictions for 2021. Here you have them one more time listed up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with me. As I said, I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Goodbye.